Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Now today I'm going to be talking about the Kansas weekend schedule races for Truck, Xfinity, and the Cup Series. But before we get into that, let's first talk about Bristol, which is the next race on the Cup, Xfinity, and the Truck Series calendar, including the ARCA Menard Series. This will be the first round of the playoffs for the Truck Series, Bristol for the round of 8, the round of 12 for the Xfinity Series, and the final round of the round of 16 for the Cup Series. So this race is pretty big in various different reasons. So Thursday, September 14th will be 2 p.m. will be the practice for the Arca Menard Series. At 3 p.m. will be the qualifying for the Arca Series as well. You can watch it on Race Center if you want to. At 4 p.m. Eastern Time will be practice for the Truck Series. That'll be on FS2. Also on FS2 is on 4:35 p.m. will be qualifying for the Truck Series, which will be on FS2 and MRM. At 6 p.m. will be the ARCA race for the running of the Bush's Beans 200. That'll be on FS1 Flare Racing and MRM. And at 9 p.m. will be the Truck Series race for the running of the 200 presented by Ohio Logistics. That will be on FS1, MRN, and Sirius XM. Friday, September 15th, 2:35 p.m. will be practice for the Xfinity Series, and 3:10 p.m. will be qualifying for the Xfinity Series. Both of them will be on USA, streamed on NBC Sports and PRM. At 4:35 p.m. will be practice for the Cup Series, and at 5:20 p.m. will be qualifying for the Cup Series. Both of them, once again, will be on USA, streamed on NBC Sports, PRN, and Sirius XM. At 7:30 p.m. will be the Xfinity Series race for the running of the Food City 300. That'll be on USA, streaming on NBC Sports, PRM, and Sirius XM. And then on Saturday will be the Cup Series race at 7:30 p.m. for the running of the Bass Pro Shops night race. That'll be on USA, streamed on NBC Sports, PRM, and Sirius XM. So with that out of the way, let's now talk about the Truck Series results. And the winner of the Truck Series race in Kansas is Christian Eckes. Then we have Taylor Gray, Matt Benedetto, Corey Heim, Zane Smith, Carson Hocevar, Stuart Friesen, Nick Sanchez, Tyler Ankrum, and Jake Drew rounding out the top 10. Then Jake Garcia, Roger Caruth, Jesse Love, Chase Purdy, and Dean Thompson round out the top 15. Now, first I want to mention is a playoff driver, Ben Rhodes, as he barely scraped to the round of 8. I'm pretty sure he had contact with the wall, and I think a tie might have been down or something. I'm not really too sure, but his hands were full, basically on the final stage, and he somehow just barely scraped to get some points. I mean, yes, to some pretty late cautions, like one of them with Mason Maggio, and a accident with Roger Caruth and Tanner Gray. But he's just barely scraped by, pretty sure by like 7 points to Matt Benedetto. So just barely scraped by. And the other one I want to about is that amazing finish at the end of this race. I mean, to be fair, Kansas, even though they're an alright track in the Cup Series, even though now they've been a bit of a fan favorite, well, the track is now a fan favorite kind of to the community. It produces some great racing, especially finishes in for the Truck Series. If it's obviously like a green-white checker, which wasn't, but because of a very late caution, it was still a phenomenal finish. I mean, like Christian Eckes almost spun out by going down to the inside, diving down to the inside turn 3 to take the lead off from Corey Heim and Zane Smith, I'm pretty sure. And then Matt Benedetto, he was on a charge. He knew what what this meant, obviously. I mean, he needed to win to advance to round of 8. And to be fair, he did what he could. And obviously, with the news of him leaving Rackley Wall at the end of the season, he did what he could, but he just fell out short, which is pretty disappointing. But, I mean, to be fair, you can't really do anything else, to be fair. I mean, that was a phenomenal finish. I'm pretty sure Benedetto also almost spun at Taylor Gray, so it was a amazing finish at the end for the Truck Series race. Let's now have a look at the other finishes outside of the top 15, and Jack Wood, obviously, he's in the owner's playoffs. That's why you see the little playoff symbol next to his name. Granite Finger, 17th, Ty Majeski in 18th, and then down in 25th is where we see Ben Rhodes, which is why I said it was very, very important. Obviously for Benedetto to win that race. If he did, that means Rhodes would be out. but he didn't. Just came off a bit short, but still, either way, a phenomenal race from Benedetto, which has been unlucky there for Ben Rhodes. And down in 33rd place is Matt Crafton, who I'm pretty sure hit the wall, and then I think had a tire going down, and that kind of screwed him up. And last place is Spencer Davies, who can only complete a one lap with a suspension problem for Spencer Davies. So, with that out of the way, let's now talk about the Xfinity Series results. And the winner of the Xfinity Series race in Kansas is John Hunter Nemechek. And then we have Brennan Jones, Sheldon Creed, Parker Kligerman, Austin Hill, Josh Berry, Brad Moffitt, Derek Kraus, Joe Graf Jr., and Kaz Grala rounding out the top 10. Then Parker Retzlaff, Jeff Burdham, Josh Williams, Connor Mosack, and Jeremy Clements rounding out the top 15. First thing I want to talk about is the regular season championship. The points leader, I'm not really too sure what to call it, but Austin Hill won the regular season championship, so congrats to Austin Hill. The other one I want to talk about as well is a multi-car wreck that happened. I'm pretty sure entering turn 3. I think Sheldon Creed was going there for like 3 wide, and then I think made contact, pretty sure maybe with Josh Berry, I think. And that caused Allgaier to get spun out by Sammy Smith, and calamity happened, and Kligerman scraped by as well. So at least that was a good sign for Kligerman. But as you can see as well, inside of the top 15 at least, there was no Riley Herbst. Oh boy. You know what that means? Herbst is not making it to the playoffs. This was a bit of a coming back to what happened. I'm pretty sure both Herbst and Kligerman, I think they collided, I think, at some point. And that basically caused Herbst to be a lap down. Actually, I should say multiple laps down. And he had no chance, basically, on making it to the playoffs after that. So Parker Kligerman is now in the playoffs with his 4th place finish. All you need to do, basically, was just to finish in front of Herbst. And that's really all he did. And that's what he did. So, yeah, welcome Parker Kligerman to the playoffs. And he's not even in, and Herbst, I just want to say, he's not even inside of the top 20. So, pretty bad there. But let's have a look now at the other finishers outside of the top 15. And there is Al Pulser, Justin Allgaier, who was involved in a multi-car wreck. He finished down in 18th place. And down in 23rd is where we see Riley Herbst. 2 laps down. Yeah, not a good day for Herbst there. Who else can I mention? Maybe Hemrick. He had his number was changed, so now he's driving the number 10. Pretty sure for the rest of the year, except for the number 11, because the 10 is now in the owner standings. It's all this confusion, but now they basically made it a lot simpler now. Sammy Smith, he was caught up in that wreck with Allgaier. Cole Cursor, pretty sure, ran over some debris, so he crashed out, and Sam Mayer and Kyle Weatherman, both of them collided together, just to start off the race, so that was pretty interesting there. So, with that out of the way, let's now, actually, I need to mention as well, that there was one driver who failed to qualify, that being Leland Honeyman. However, he drove the 66 for NBA Motorsports either way, so it really did not matter. So, with that out of the way, let's now talk about the Cup Series results. And the winner of the Cup Series at Kansas is Tyler Reddick. Then we have his owner, Denny Hamlin, then Eric Jones, Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Christopher Bell, Brad Keselowski, and Alex Bowman round out in the top 10. Then Kevin Harvick, Ryan Blaney, Ross Chastain, Ty Gibbs, and William Byron round out in the top 15. First, I want to mention a very not a big of a thing, but unless you're a fan of Hendrick Motorsports, is Kyle Larson versus Chase Elliott. Pretty sure it was like a pit road scuffle. Larson was trying to avoid. Pretty sure it was Reddick who was coming out of the pit lane and hit Elliott, and Elliott was not too happy with him. Pretty sure also had a conversation with him after the race. But it's very, very minor. I don't know why Elliott was so pissed off. I mean, Larson, he couldn't really do much. If he wanted to keep his position, then he kind of needed to swerve just to keep him out of the way. But I can understand why he's pissed, but it doesn't really matter either way. The big thing I want to talk about is Martin Truex Jr. Obviously, our regular season champion, I believe. And he crashed out. I think it might have been a tie failure, but this is not a good thing for Truex at all. Martin, he was where was he? I'm guessing he was maybe mid pack, um, in the standings, maybe around like sixth place. I can't remember where he was, mostly before this race, but he is now outside of the top 12. That's how badly this finish has affected him. That he is now outside of the top 12. And we're getting to standings soon. But considering that he was the regular season champion coming into this, and now that he's a couple points out of the round of 12, well, I should say from advancing to round of 12, it's a massive thing. So if Truex does get eliminated right away in round of 16, that will be a massive blow um, to the playoffs and even the Truex as well, considering that he was one of the favorites coming into the playoffs, considering that he basically is woken up. Obviously, he's been incredibly consistent throughout the regular season, and with him possibly out of the round of 12, well, I should say the round of 16 for the round of 12, that is a massive storyline coming to Bristol. So everyone should probably look out for Martin Truex Jr. and to see what could possibly happen. But yeah, my eyes are definitely going to be on Truex if he can make up all of the points, which is, I'll be honest, is not a lot. But if he can make up on the points like Kevin Harvick, who is currently like, on the bubble, if he can make it to the playoffs, to round of 12, to the next round. So I guess we'll find out there. Let's now have a look at the other finishes outside of the top 15. Obviously, I will be only talk about only the playoff drivers. The next highest one is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He finished down in 23rd. Next up is Michael McDowell, 26th. Chris Buescher, 27th. Bubba Wallace, I don't know what happened to him, but I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. So he finished down 32nd. And there is Martin Truex Jr., 36th place, and retired on lap 3. And also got 1 point. One singular point. He's lucky that at least he got 1 point. But that is massive, though, either way, that Truex is now looking is now looking into the round of 12. He's currently outside in 13th place, and he could miss out on the playoffs. I'm definitely gonna be watching Bristol. I think it's gonna be a phenomenal race. I don't know if I can because I was have time zones and stuff, but I'm gonna try my damn hardest to watch this race because it's gonna be a phenomenal race. So let's now talk about the Truck Series standings. So this is what the playoff standings looks like as we now head over to the round of 8 for the Truck Series. Corey Heim now takes over the lead, then Christian Eckes, Grant Eifinger, Carson Hocevar, Zane Smith, Ty Majeski, Ben Rhodes, and Nick Sanchez. Obviously, the top 4 this time, so from 5th to 8th will be eliminated from the playoffs as we head over to Phoenix for the final race for the Championship 4, and obviously the 2 outsiders, that being Matt Benedetto and Matt Crafton, were eliminated just after this race. And then Chase Purdy is the first non-playoff driver. There's Stuart Friesen, Tanner Gray, Jake Garcia, Tyler Ankrum, Taylor Gray, Roger Cruz, Daniel Dye, Haley Deegan, and Colby Howard round out the top 20. So it'll be interesting to see because this is a bit of a wild card round for the Truck Series. I mean, like we go to Bristol and then Talladega and then Homestead. So it can be all over the place, especially in Talladega, maybe Bristol, but we'll see. But definitely Talladega will definitely produce some interesting results. So let's now talk about the Xfinity Series standings. So this is what the playoff bracket now looks like as we head over now to the next race. I'm pretty sure which is Bristol. I think I'm pretty sure. Jonathan Nemechek is leading the playoff standings, and then we have Austin Hill, Justin Allgaier, Cole Custer, Sam Mayer, Chandler Smith, Josh Berry, Sheldon Creed, Sammy Smith, and Jed Burden round out the top 10. Then Daniel Hemrick and Parker Kligerman round out the playoffs. And then first out is currently Riley Herbst and Brandon Jones, Brent Moffitt, Parker Retzlaff, Kaz Grala, Ryan Sieg, Jeremy Clements, and Anthony Alfredo round out the top 20. And yes, Brandon Jones missed out on the playoffs in Junior Motorsports Equipment, where that car, pretty sure, won like 6 races, I'm pretty sure. Very, very embarrassing, and yet he is signed to that team for another year. What is he doing in Junior Motorsports? But whatever. So obviously it will be the round of 12 for the Xfinity Series, and then next will be the round of 8. So four drivers will be eliminated in this round from a 9th through 12th. So currently outside of the playoff bubble includes Sammy Smith, Jeb Burton, Daniel Hemrick, and Parker Kligerman. I'm pretty sure Sammy Smith and Jeb Burton, they're currently, by my calculations, both of them are 2 points out. And then I think it's 5 points out, I'm pretty sure, for Hemrick, and then 6 points out for Parker Kligerman. But I might be wrong about that. But all I know is that Sammy Smith and Jeb Burton, both of them are basically tied for ninth. For ninth place, and all of them are also behind Sheldon Creed, who is currently 8th place. So let's now move over now to the Cup Series standings. So here are the Cup Series standings. Kyle Larson is still in the lead, and joining him as well in the round 12 is Tyler Reddick. Then we have Denny Hamlin, William Byron, Brad Keselowski, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain, Chris Buescher, Christopher Bell. Round out the top 10, then Joey Logano and Kevin Harvick in the round 12. Then looking inwards or outwards, I can't remember. We have Martin Truex Jr. -7, Bubba Wallace -19, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. -22, who's actually been pretty consistent, I'll be honest, and Michael McDowell, who's in a bit of a hole, -14. Obviously, then the other drivers: Ty Gibbs, Chase Elliott, Daniel Suarez, and Alex Bowman. Larson and Reddick obviously both of them are safe, so they don't even have to race in Bristol, but obviously they are going to because of points and stuff, or playoff points. Hopefully getting more playoff points to add to their total for the next round. But this is pretty big. Considering that Truex, obviously, he has that massive load of points of 36 playoff points. Obviously, he can't use it in this. It's too late to use them, considering that it resets in the first race of the round. And considering that Truex is now -7, which I'll be honest, I mean, he only needs to finish, I think 4 spots, maybe 4 spots, or even 5 spots above Kevin Harvick to advance to the round of 12. But I mean, for points, for points, none of them was really safe. I mean, 50 points are basically can be awarded, I'm pretty sure. So technically, no one is officially locked in. But McDowell, he's in a must-win. Stenhouse on the verge, including Bubba Wallace, but I think both of them can maybe point their way in. Martin Truex Jr. can definitely point his way in. So Truex can still definitely make it to the playoffs via points. McDowell's in a must-win. And Stenhouse and Bubba Wallace, they're probably also in a must-win situation. I think Bubba Wallace can definitely make it via points, but I don't know. Bristol, it can throw a curveball at you. Like we saw, like last year, Chris Buescher won, and he wasn't even in the playoffs. So it can definitely throw a bunch of curveballs on drivers. So that could be really interesting to see, but yeah, it's going to be pretty tight in Bristol, and so we're gonna be focusing a lot on the bubble. Kevin Harvick, Logano, even Bell, Buescher, Chastain, possibly. All these drivers are in pretty high risk of possibly getting out, just depending on as well if they do retire or not. So just a reminder that next week's scheduled race is at Bristol for the Cup, Xfinity, and the Truck Series, including the ARCA Minor Series. So that's really about it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you guys on next time in the next one. Goodbye.